My name is Melissa Soto, and I'm a mathematics adjunct instructor. I've been teaching here at Kirkwood Community College this is my fourth year teaching. I was at the Iowa City campus for 3 years, and now I'm here at the main campus in Cedar Rapids. I teach math, and I also teach for distance learning. So flipped learning to me is students being active participants in the class, as opposed to inactive participants or maybe passive participants. Something I really believe in is that I believe that education is not about throwing a bunch of content to students. It's about them engaging in very difficult concepts, using their imagination, their creativity, their problem-solving skills to attack a problem, to use critical thinking skills. It's not just about, following the algorithm. It's about thinking about how to solve a problem. And flipped learning allows for that creativity and that problem-solving process to happen. Because in a traditional classroom, or in a, non-flipped learning classroom, a bunch of content, students are acquiring content just by me throwing it at them. Processing, some might process it at that time, some might not. But flipped learning allows students to process information at their own time. I mean, the power of that remote control is revolutionary. That's one of the main components that my students loved about the flipped learning. Is they really enjoyed the pause button, they enjoyed the fast forward button, because sometimes it was review for them. But flipped classroom it's a different mindset, but a very powerful one. Students are engaged, and I feel like in flipped learning, you really are learning by just flipping those roles. It's student-centered as opposed to teacher-centered. They need to be talking about these mathematical concepts. Before I implemented flipping the classroom, my classroom, so essentially students would come into my classroom and they'd sit in there, nice neat rows. I'd come in and I'd start lecturing. We're on section 2.1, graphing linear equations, and I would just start. The reason that I decided to implement this flip model was because my lecturing it wasn't working. I wanted to reach all my students, and I wasn't reaching all of them, so I decided I needed to do something because this wasn't working. I remember KSELT was offering a 6-week flipped classroom initiative, and I jumped on board. I said, I'm interested. I really want to test this out. We received a book, the flipped classroom book, and we basically read it a chapter every week, and we discussed certain questions, what things we liked, what things we didn't like, maybe how to modify it for community college, since it was founded by high school instructors. And I learned a lot. I really appreciated those conversations with others, just collaborating. How would you, implement this part in your class, in a different discipline. But I was very satisfied, and after the 6 weeks, I was excited to try this in the fall. My students' reaction initially to the flipped classroom model was, I remember the first day, huh? What are we doing? You're not gonna teach us? It was foreign. It was completely new to them. because they were so used to being lectured at and then doing assignments at home. So it was a little foreign to them. But after maybe the second week, it just became routine. They came in, they watched the videos, I checked their notes, they'd be working together. At the beginning, it was hard to get out of that comfort zone because we're so used to just being in that classroom and listening to the lecture, maybe passively listening. And I want them to be active participants. But I think they just got used to it. They became comfortable. I mean, I think anytime you start something new, it's always going to be a little uncomfortable. I know for me, but I actually didn't think they would be as uncomfortable, but they were in the beginning, which I learned later. But it was rewarding. I mean, they said it was worth it. They really they enjoyed flipping the classroom.